win, a loss, a win. There's been ups and downs this entire first 3 weeks, but yet it still feels like everything is on the uptick with your team.
It is. They're still lifting weights. They're still getting after it. They're still practicing hard. They're doing everything that we ask them to do in the film room, weight room. Watch film today, practice tomorrow, but I'm sure practice tomorrow will be pretty intense, and our guys will be ready to get after it. But just their preparation and getting ready for ball games has truly improved each week, and you can see that by how they played and the confidence that they played with and the physicality. And there's still a lot of mistakes that we had in that game that we need to get corrected, and we correct those things. It's a really, really solid football team, but those are the things we got to work on this week, is correcting the little things and not making errant decisions, and just take care of business and play more physical. But I was pretty proud with the way we played. There's still a lot of things I think we got to work on, but there's ups and downs. And what I think that was good about this group this week is we had a lot of adversity in that game, and they were able to fight through that adversity and find a way to win that ball game.
A lot of players talking about last week was the best week of practice, and then you go out and you beat Northwest Missouri State. Are some of these new faces and younger guys, you think they're starting to figure out what it takes Sunday or Monday through Friday to have success on Saturday?
I think so, and I think we don't have a lot of older guys, but the ones that we do have, they know how to practice, they know how to lift, they know how to prepare. And the cool thing is they're showing those younger guys, how to do those things. And I think those young guys are now understanding, how to pick those things up and how to practice. You're seeing kids step up in practice and making more plays in practice instead of just kind of being in the right spot. They're actually making the play. And so, I think that's going to continue to get better as the weeks go on and as they mature. Now we're getting ready to go on week 4. You were a freshman week 1. You should have been sophomores week 2, and by now I expect you to be playing like a junior. If you're a young guy, because you've had that experience and the speed of the game now. Now it's just putting all the pieces together and playing like an upperclassman. And I saw a few of them do that last week, and now we just need a few more of those guys to do that this week. But I'm proud of the way they're preparing, and I'm proud of the way our older guys are getting these kids ready to play, week in and week out.
You mentioned making plays in practice. It felt like Saturday, when there were key moments in the game, your guys came through and made those big plays. It's maybe something that hasn't happened in years past. Do you feel that's a good assessment? And just talk about your guys rising to the occasion when the game was on the line.
It is. It's just seeing things happen. Offense turn the ball over, and then all of a sudden we get the turnover back, with the great, strip, by Paris Terry, and then all of a sudden we go 90-something yards and score a touchdown. That just says something about this team and taking advantage of opportunities, and our defense not letting up in that situation, because they could have. It was kind of a trick play, but not really a trick play. It's something that we hadn't seen, but they reacted and saw it and made plays and played hard. And, just a few things, Jack threw an interception. Our defense hung in there and maybe just gave up a field goal instead of a touchdown. So that shows maturity, of these young men and just the way they play the game. You could tell that right now I feel like our kids play really, really hard. They are playing more physical, and right now that they're not going to give up, and they're going to scrap and fight for every down. They're going to do that, and they're going to try to win every single ball game, no matter what the score is. And that's what we told them before the game. Don't worry about the scoreboard. Just worry about your job, your assignment, doing it to the best of your ability. And if you play for this team and we play as a family, the scoreboard will take care of itself.
Once you knew for sure that their starter at quarterback was out for the game, did you make any adjustments to keep some game plan accordingly?
Well, we found that out on Friday, and there's not much changing after that point, because your game plan is pretty much your game plan. But we kind of already through the week, kind of prepared, for Northwest and what they were going to do. With the new quarterback coming in, I thought they were going to start the other one, but they actually ended up starting, number 12, the freshman, and that kid's going to be a great player as he matures and gets older. He made some good reads and he made some good throws in that game, and he's very athletic. So as he matures, even through this year, he's going to improve and get better. But I thought the guys did a good job of getting pressure on him, which it's hard to get pressure on Northwest quarterbacks because their O-lines are usually pretty good. I think we got 4 sacks maybe in that game, which is awesome, and I think we got to even hurried him a few times. And, our guys just played hard and did the things they needed to do. But our guys read really well. They saw things really well. And when they saw it, they reacted. And then sometimes, in the past we didn't react. We saw things, but we just kind of hesitated instead of going and making the play, where our guys actually, this last week saw the play, reacted to the play, and went and made plays. So I think that's the big difference in our defense right now.
After the Pitt State loss, a lot was made about that. It's just one game, there's a lot of football left. How do you go about making sure that after a big win, there's still a lot of football to be played and moving on from the win?
I'll have to humble them a little bit today. I think once they watch film, they'll see there are a lot of things that they need to work on and improve. But I think this group's a little bit different. I think they're hungry for more wins, and I think they're on to the next week already. I think Northwest has passed. They're ready for Mo West, even though we're going to bring Northwest right back up today and watch the film and go through it, and make sure we make those corrections and let them know if we would have done certain things, maybe this game could have been a little bit different. Maybe we would have won by 20 points instead of 11. Just by a few different plays, a few penalties that took a few points away. Turnovers as well that could have added to some points, and things like that, and maybe just a couple plays defensively that we don't give up field goals, and so it's just correcting those things, getting those things fixed, and still bringing the physicality to the game and showing the physicality, and how Adelhart was on the kickoff. That's the type of physicality that we want to play with, and I think that really set the tone for the second half when he ran down there on that kickoff and hit that kid.
What's the difference in the physicality? I know you talked about the first couple of weeks you wanted your team to be more physical, and it seemed to show up this week. Can you put a finger on why, what the difference was?
Just stressing it and doing it in practice, and I think that's the big part of it. Years past, we didn't do a lot of, hitting, and we didn't really get after, a lot. Now our ones versus ones in practice, we still don't do a lot. It's more just thud stuff, and when we go against our scouts, it's a pretty physical practice, especially day one, and then in day two is a little bit less, and then day three there's a little bit, but it's just stressing, taking good angles, being physical, and it's just a continuous, reassuring them that it's okay to be physical and to be aggressive, because it's how this game is played. I think we've lost a lot of that in the past, but right now I think our kids know what I expect, and if it's not there, we tell them about it, and I think they're starting to learn what exactly and how much fun it is to play physical as well. I mean, those big hits are fun hits, and it gets a lot of excitement, a lot of energy. So I think kids, and we give out big hits of the week as well, to our kids with stickers. So, if you want to get one of those stickers, let's be physical and be aggressive and get one.
Talk about Jack's play a little bit. I know it threw the interception, but he had some big passes and some big plays. You happy with how he's reading the defenses, his progressions, and all of those things?
I thought this week his feet weren't as happy this week. He's set in the pocket just a little bit more, which we expected him to do. There's just a few little things that if he just a little more patient and read it through just a little bit, the first pick especially, if he just would have waited like we asked him to on the first throw, that's definitely a touchdown and not an interception. The only thing that really upset me was on the sideline when they had the review and we thought it was going to be an interception. Just throw that thing into the stands. But I think he's progressively getting better each week. You just played, two of the top teams in the country, and you hung in there with him, and he did a really good job. It's eliminating those little mistakes, those little stupid things. But you got to understand, he's still just a sophomore, and he's still learning, just like any other quarterback would in our system, and it takes a little bit of time, but I think each week he gets a little bit more comfortable. The O-line gets a little bit more comfortable, and now he knows he has some weapons he can throw to as well, which really helps him out, and it's just not forcing the balls and put him in a good position where those guys can go up and get the ball as well.
With Bryson Smith, his kind of emergence, I know it's only a second game, but he obviously had a big hand in Saturday. What does that mean for the offense?
It's great. Now there's a deep threat, right? And years past, last 2 years before this, we didn't have a deep threat, and now we have that with Bryson and with Jaden, and even Watts has the speed to go vertical as well, and just that mixture of guys. Even Kel, big tight end, who's got pretty decent speed as well. It just gives us a chance to get some vertical routes, and hopefully we can get our run game going just a little bit better and be able to hit bigger shots. And but just the way he plays the game, has confidence, and Jack's confidence in him to throw the ball, knowing that the kid's going to go get the ball wherever it's thrown. And a couple of those catches were amazing. I mean, I haven't seen anybody go up for a ball like that in a long time, on this team and in this conference as well. But he's only going to continue to get better as long as he stays humble and stays hungry and continues to work. Great things are going to happen, and that goes for our whole team. We got to stay humble, and we got to stay hungry, and continue to work and try to get more wins.
Obviously, the running game, obviously, Northwest maybe isn't the best thing to judge it on. They're always good, but what's it going to take to get those guys kind of uncorked a little bit?
Just got to get the freshmen out of them and the youngest. I mean, when you look across the board, where Phil Paris has. This is his first year starting, right? Danovic's first year starting. Brandon Kurz, this was kind of really, he started a little bit last year, but this really kind of being the guy. Dawson, it's his first year with us as well, and Josh Shaw, he's probably about the only returner on that O-line that's actually got some game experience. So it just takes time for that to develop and understand that. And these are young kids. I mean, they're freshmen. I mean, there might be one junior in there, and we're going against juniors and seniors who have been in the weight room for 3 or 4 years, and our kids are just trying to catch up to that. But I think they've really done a good job of holding their own, and I think they're only going to get more confident as the year goes on. And hopefully that starts this week, and we get some movement, on Mo West D-line, and hopefully get our run game going, and then open up some big plays in the pass game.
Do you notice any frustration amongst the linemen that they're not able to get that push and get the holes open for the running backs, or how are they handling this learning period for them?
They're eager to learn, right? And they're eager to try new techniques and use different fundamentals that we're trying to teach them. And because it is different coming from high school to college and different things that you are taught. And I think they're taking it in stride, and they're trying to get better, and they're wanting to do better, and they're wanting to open up that run game for our running backs. So it's a group that's going to fight and battle and scrap, and I know that they just have that attitude. And you could see a little bit of it last week, but Northwest's D-line, it's still the same D-line. Not many people are going to be able to run on them. And if there is a seam, it's not a very big seam, and as a back, you got to be able to see that seam and hit it. But I thought they held their own last week. I really do, and I thought they did a decent job. And there's a few times in there if the back sees the hole, it goes a long way. So, just continue to get better, continue to grind. I mean, it's Travis's first year in our system as well. It's the first time Watts has been over at running back too. And seeing game speed besides practice speed is a little bit different, and holes are always different as well. So it'll come. I truly think it'll come. It's just got to keep working this week, and hopefully this is the week it clicks for us.
Missouri Western has been a thorn in the side of you, I guess.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
About this?
I don't know. They play really hard. I mean, even watching this year's team, and I was a little late to this press conference because I was so locked into watching film. So good thing our players were here, right, to get this thing rolling. They run to the ball hard on defense. Their D line is very athletic and very strong, and their secondary is very aggressive, on the run game as well, but they're able to somehow cover the pass as well. I mean, they're really good at what they do, and they're really good at reading things, defensively and attacking. And so, we're going to be ready for that as well. And then offensively, they got some big offensive linemen that move very well. They got some really good backs, and they got some tremendous receivers that get open. And a little bit different of an offense than what we've seen in the last few weeks. They're going to be more of a spread offense. I mean, we'll get a lot of no backs and the motion in the back into the backfield as well. So it's just an offense that kind of gives you troubles when you're not used to seeing those things, on a daily basis. So, we're just going to watch a lot of film this week. It's a little shorter week than what we've had because we only have 3 days this week to prepare instead of 4. So our kids are going to really lock in and put more time in this week to getting better. But, they are a good football team. They got 2 really good quarterbacks, and they got 2 really good running backs, and I feel like they got 4 or 5 really good receivers and a big tight end as well. But their offensive line does a good job of protecting the quarterback and giving him time. And when they need to scramble, they can scramble and get those yards. So we've got to find a way to keep them in the pocket and put some pressure on them. But they're a good football team. But they are been a thorn in my side for a few years now, and now we got to get rid of that. We got to find a way to get rid of that. But I know they're going to come. I know we're going to go there, and they're going to be ready to play. It's a great atmosphere all the time when we go there, and it's great scenery. They got a humongous scoreboard, nice press box. It's where the Chiefs practice during camp, and you know, it's just it's a good place to play, but it's just been a hard place for us to go and win. And even when they come here, for some reason, we make a lot of mistakes. So hopefully, knock on wood, we eliminate those mistakes this week.
They do a three-man front up on defense. What kind of, a little different what you face most weeks. What's that, how do you adjust to that, and what's the challenges for the O-line?
A little different. I mean, sometimes it's three, and it's kind of got that. They kind of got that fourth guy just kind of sitting there, you know. And then they kind of got a fifth guy that's off just a little bit. But it's just, you know, the more you watch film, the more you kind of put the pieces together, how it fits with their coverages and the things that they're trying to do. So it's just us coaches teaching our kids, this is the look you're getting, and this is what's actually going to happen. So, and it's them listening to us, and it's them watching film on their own and seeing those looks and saying, okay, this is what we have to do. So it is a little different, but you know, it's a three-man front. There's a guy just off just a little bit, so it kind of can turn it into a four-man front pretty quick. So it's just us, you know, doing our job, doing our assignments, and making sure we know who the ID is, you know, on every single play. And if you know who the ID is, you can pretty much figure out who we need to block and where we need to block them.
Last week you were asked about the significance of that game, Northwest, week 3, and now that you win that game, and you know, Missouri Western's touchdown away from, you know, being undefeated in the conference, just the importance and significance of Saturday night.
It's very important, you know, because we're trying to take another step in this program. We fell down a couple, you know, notches down, you know, the last couple of years, but this group's a little bit different. They're hungry, they want to win, and we want to try to get back to the top. And you know, there's another team that's, you know, trying to do the same exact thing. Got a brand new coach, and Coach Fenwick, and he's done a tremendous job. He's been there before. I think he was there as the OC when I was at Washburn as the defensive coordinator. So we kind of know each other just a little bit, but I'm sure his offense has changed just a little bit since then. But you know, this is a big game for us, and this is a big game for them as well. You know, two teams that are sitting here at 2-1 and want to go 3-1. So it's going to be another battle, and it's just a crazy year in the conference right now. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are battling for the top spots and trying to get to the playoffs, and I think right now it's anybody's race, and it's just who's playing best on that day and who makes the least amount of mistakes. So we got to make sure that we go down there and not turn the ball over, and then defensively create some turnovers for our offense and get the ball back to our offense. But, you know, we need to go win this game, and, you know, I think our kids are hungry, and they're going to put the work in this week to hopefully get that done.
Talking with the players over the first few weeks, it seems like that they have taken a true ownership of things, and maybe something that started already this summer. A lot of them have talked about getting together and running routes and lifting throughout the summer. One of the players on Saturday said how tomorrow morning they will have moved on and be ready to start looking forward. Have you noticed that? That's the perception I have having talked to players.
I mean, it all started as it's the accountability right now. I mean, these kids are very accountable, and you know, they really do take care of all the problems, which is awesome as a coach right now. If a kid doesn't get his study hall hours in, well, us as coaches don't have to discipline him and give him extra running. It's the players that actually do it themselves. You know, hey, it's one of your DBs didn't get all the study hall hours in. What are you going to do? Coach, we got him. You know, and that's just kind of the group that we have right now. You know, guys not coming to the weight room and working hard. Our kids get onto them. So it's that accountability, and it's the competitiveness that's in them right now, and the want to make this program change. And by doing that, you got to change the culture. And these kids are changing the culture right now of this is how we do things, and if you can't do things this way, then you probably don't need to be here. And the kids are handling all that stuff, and I don't have to do it, which is a great thing. I think that's why you've seen a change, you know, in our team. I mean, the things they did this summer, I mean, it was tremendous. I mean, they were lifting every single day. They were doing 7-on-7. They were doing individuals and doing the things that past year's teams didn't do. And, I mean, they put the time and the effort in, and you can see that it's worked. And, I mean, when you get 80-something kids here in the summer doing that, and they're all bought in, they become closer, they become a family, and when you really care about somebody, you seem to work a little bit harder for them and play a little bit harder, and that's what these kids are doing right now, just the accountability and playing hard for one another.
So I'll Gavin Hazelhorse leave the game. He maybe came back in briefly, but any injury update on him, or is he back after Saturday?
I think he'll be back. Pretty sure. I mean, it was more just being careful and being safe so we don't hurt it any more than what it was. And Paris Terry was playing really well. And when you got a young man playing really well and with that much intensity and getting the job done, why throw a kid in there that's kind of banged up and hurt him even more? So But if we needed him, he would have went right back in that game and played. That's just who Gavin Hazelhorse is. It doesn't matter. His leg could be falling off, and he's still going to go in the game and play. And that's the kind of kids we have right now too. We got kids that have some injuries that in past years wouldn't try to play. And right now, these kids, it don't matter. We actually have to pull them out of practice and hold them out of things, so they can actually be healthy and ready to go on Saturday. So it's a whole different group, and it's an awesome group to coach, and they're fun to be around, and just the excitement and the joy, as a coach to see how much fun these kids are having and how much they love the game, and it's great to be at practice and just being around them. It's just the whole atmosphere has totally changed, but we have the right kids now. The thing is, they're just young and they're growing every single day and they're getting better every single day. So hopefully on this end stretch here of 8 more games, we continue to get better and we can win as many as possibly can of those.